there's no shortage of people who speak so highly of you. I mean, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Dwayne Wade, you name it. How do you even become the trainer to these amazing NBA athletes?
What you have to do to get with these kind of individuals is everybody wants to start there. It doesn't start there. All right, it starts many, many years ago, knowing exactly what you wanted to do. I was fortunate enough when I went to college, I have a master's degree in exercise science and kinesiology. So what I wanted to do was, when I told my parents, this is what I wanted to do, I said I was going to train professional athletes. And everybody says, what are you going to study? I said, I'm studying kinesiology, exercise science. I said, oh, you're going to be a gym teacher? I said, no, I'm going to train professional athletes. You know, we're going back into the 80s. You know, I'm a couple of months older than you
Sure,
are. Just
a couple months.
You know? So I kept telling myself, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I had a big passion, and I always loved sports, the passion and action behind the sport. So I was like, okay, but I wasn't good enough to be a professional. I knew that. I knew I was not going to make any money playing basketball. That was my sport.
Sure.
But I still wanted to be involved in it.
At the highest level.
At the highest level. Still, how can you make a difference and still work and be in the same mindset as these individuals? So what I did was I finished off my degree. I went to work at a local health club. My hourly rate was $3.25.
As a personal trainer?
And they wouldn't even hire me as a personal trainer. When I came into the health club, you had to work. Here's a word for you fitness people out there, for young guys that you might have not heard, the Nautilus room.
The Nautilus room.
Yeah, where you had all the equipment and there was just Nautilus.
Yeah.
So you had to go in there, and everybody who came in joined the health club. They got a free session of how to use the Nautilus equipment. There were 12 pieces there, and you went there. And I was that individual with a master's degree. With a master's degree teaching these people. But I was like, it was one of the best things that happened to me, because what it did was, you go to college, you learn everything from a book, but you don't really get a chance to apply it and to actually use it. So now it gave me a chance in this environment to actually learn how to use everything.
With real people.
With real people.
And I suppose that's probably a good thing that you weren't working with athletes right out the gate, because the last thing you want to do is get your hands wet with athletes.
Right, exactly. And here's the thing. Everybody wants to go there, but they forget that you got to do all that other stuff first. Nobody wants to do that. People come in, they apply for a job. They've never worked in the industry. First thing they check off, managerial position. Managerial position? Well, what have you done over here? So I learned my craft. I worked with every possible individual in there. Anybody that wanted to lose weight, gain weight, had injury, any kid that wanted to be perform better, and learned everything. I learned how to apply everything, learned how to do everything. The word kind of spread that, hey, there's an actual individual in there. He's just not doing training. He's doing more like movement stuff. He's making people better as recreational tennis players, as recreational basketball players, and so forth. And I made a lot of mistakes during the time. I would write programs out, and I'm like, this isn't going to work. And that allowed me to have the trust in myself to know when the opportunity came. And I didn't say if, when the opportunity came.
What made you so confident that the opportunity was going to come? That you would say when and not if?
There was no other option for me. I was going to make it happen. I wasn't relying on somebody else to say, figure this out. Let me make a contact here. You do find your resources in different places, but still the onus is on you. So what I did was I sent out, when I was confident enough in my ability, I sent out a letter to every single player in the Bulls organization. There's 15 players, but there's a mistake I made, all right? I only sent out 14 letters. And this was when you had to handwrite the letters, go to the post office stamp. There was no emails back then. I sent out 14 letters.
Who was the 15th?
I did not send out one letter to Michael Jordan.
Why?
In my mind, I was like, he's already the best at what he does. Why would somebody who's as great as they are need help?
Wow.
I got one reply back from the one person I did not send a letter to.
Oh, shit.
The one person I did not send a letter to. He contacted the team athletic trainer. He contacted the team physician and said, hey, find out who this guy is and what he's about. So there's a lesson over there. There's a reason why individuals that are so successful, business, sports, athletics, whatever you want to do. The best of the best are always looking to get better. They're never satisfied. They're always looking for that competitive advantage. No matter how much they've won, they want to win more.
How many people, because you've coached the best or you've trained the best, how many of the athletes that you've come across in your time have had that mindset versus wanting to see all the pats on the back of how well they scored and how they rebounded?
How many? There's less than that I've dealt with and I've talked to. I'd say there's less than 20.
Less than 20.
There's less than 20. I'm talking about in all the sports that I've had to actually had a conversation with. Not all these athletes, the Michaels, the Kobes, the Wades. I've actually had a chance to work with those individuals, personally for years and years. But through them, I got a chance to meet so many other people. I'm not just talking about a one-off. I'm talking about being for years, like a Wayne Gretzky and, Derek Jeter,
Yeah.
Roger Federer. To see those individuals, to put them in a room, and if they all spoke exactly the same way, and you didn't know who was speaking, they're talking about the same thing over and over again. They can't tell you all the points and all the games they won, but they can tell you every opportunity that they didn't capitalize or the game they should have won and they made a mistake. That's what sticks with those individuals. Like Tom Brady, I'll give you a great example.
Yes.
The Super Bowl is coming up. All right. Last year, the only memory he has is about dropping that pass.
Right. What an opportunity, and he dropped that
He
pass.
dropped that pass. Forget about the numbers he put up. He put up record numbers for a quarterback in a Super Bowl game as a loss. He doesn't care about that. He's not talking about that. He's talking about the things that didn't happen. They're the most competitive individuals out there in everything they do. People always say, I love when people get on podcasts and, these different shows and they tell you the same thing over and over again. You got to get up early. You got to outwork the competition. You got to work harder. You got to do these things. We all know that. We all know that. If that's all it took, then we'd all be super, super successful.
Sure.
All right. It takes way more than that. It takes the mindset to put those things into place. If you're going to get up earlier than everybody else, are you using that time productively? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? I always tell people, I've never worked out an individual. I've trained individuals. There's a big difference between working out
What's
somebody
the difference?
and training somebody. I can take anybody into a gym and work them out, get their heart rate up, get them doing these motions, and literally 10 minutes later they're pouring in sweat. All right, man, I had a great workout. Yeah, you had a great workout. But now, did you train? Did you actually train in your sport? Did you train yourself physically? Did you train yourself mentally to give you that competitive edge in what you need to do it in? And that's what these individuals do. Everything they do is focused. It could be even in their personal life. It's focused to give them that competitive advantage. And they surround themselves not with friends, they surround themselves with allies. And the difference between friends and allies is friends tell you what you want to hear. Allies tell you what you need to hear. And there's a huge difference.
That's a massive difference. I've never heard that differentiation put like that before.
Not only do they have an obligation to themselves, they know they have an obligation to others. So Michael always said, listen, not only do I have an obligation to go out and play this basketball game and play it to the best of my ability, there's millions of people watching, the people that have spent money that are going to be coming to this game. This might be the only chance they get a chance to ever see me play. So his obligation to himself is so strong that it passes on to everybody else. He goes, not only am I responsible for my actions here, but there's so many other people that I'm responsible for. I have to put out the best product out there. And there was no way that he was not going to play. Now remember, it's amazing when you see athletes that are not up to their full capacity and they always play their best. Why is it? Because they have to block out all the distractions and now you have a sense and height of your mindset. Your focus becomes a little bit more, becomes a little bit more intense. You learn to block out the crowd. You get into that zone. It's like going into a business meeting and you walking in there and you come out of it, man, I don't know how I closed that deal. You can't remember, but you know you were just so totally locked in, so laser focused, you can't see anything else around you.
Is this ability to compartmentalize everything else that's happening around you and to just do what you must do in the moment to win?
Exactly. It is. It's like to be able, you know how they say, everyone says just block it out. Some people don't have the ability to block it out. So what happens is when you tell somebody don't think, first thing they do is start thinking.
Think about that.
First thing you tell them, block it out. Well, if they're blocking it out, it's already too late. It's already too late. The preparation, we've had this podcast on the books for over a month now.
Yeah.
Okay. I guarantee it, your preparation didn't start this morning. All right?
This is the third time reading your book.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. There are no secrets out there. Okay? You know what's going to happen. You know the preparation. Guys don't make those great tennis shots. They don't make those golf putts. They don't make those basketball shots. The baseball, your closers. That doesn't happen then. It's happened months, years before that.
Yeah.
That allows you to be able to be laser focused, to be able to block things out, to be able to get into the zone. People run from pressure. Pressure is a privilege. Everybody should be so thankful if somebody puts you in an opportunity where you're under pressure and you get a chance to thrive. That means they believe in you. That means they see something in you that they don't see in somebody else. You can look at the 6 championships, all right, the 5 Super Bowls that Tom Brady has won, the 5 championships that Kobe has won, all the matches that Serena Williams has won, all these things, all right? There's not a single individual that I know could name every individual on that team, but they can name the individuals that stood out.